So, there's a rumor going around that Tellius remakes are confirmed. So what's going on exactly, and how confirmed is it? Rumors about games that are coming out eventually are dime a dozen on the internet, and Fire Emblem is no exception. There are definitely examples of rumors out there that have a very high percentage of, well, my uncle at Nintendo says so, where it just turns out there was nothing to it at all. But I think there's a little more meat to this one, and it's worth looking into. So if you want to get caught up on what's going on, this is the video for you. Of course, with all pre-release and pre-announcement speculation, you should take it with a grain of salt and don't get your hopes up too high. But a man can dream, right? So what is going on? The best summary that I've been able to find is this post on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, and it's posted by Sigurd is Triggered, or Tiggered, not Triggered. I'll just read through it since it's not that long, and I think it's a pretty good summary. He links a lot of things in his posts that I'll get into after we're done reading it. A Reddit user that leaked info about Fire Emblem Three Houses hints at remakes of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn that were possibly meant to release in 2020 but were delayed. A user named ThannyBomb in 2019 revealed a large amount of information about Fire Emblem Three Houses before it was known, which all turned out to be true when the game got its next trailer and was released. Ever since the beginning of 2020, the Fire Emblem Heroes mobile game has been having an unusually high amount of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn related content, such as seasonal variants of these characters appearing every month in 2020 only, and the pattern of the game's subscription for service, Fate Pass, being broken recently by one of the protagonists from these games. A statue of the duology's main protagonist was also recently released. Users on Fire Emblem Heroes discuss this pattern and speculate something minor, but then ThannyBomb replies saying they think it is something much bigger. In response, another user then speculates that these characters might have been released throughout 2020 to coincide with these remakes, but the remakes were delayed when the mobile game was not. The leaker ThannyBomb then replies to this comment specifically with emoji eyes, possibly hinting that what this user speculated is true, that these supposed remakes of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn were planned to release in 2020 but were delayed due to the pandemic. And then, later edited in, a user in this thread named JDrax has informed me in their comment that ThannyBomb has made even more similar comments previously in the past month, shown here. And then there's a couple more examples of ThannyBomb doing hints. Additionally, at the bottom, and this one could mean nothing, but it's still worth noting, that Thanny was asked what did it take to bring them back from Genshin, and they said, on Radiant Dawn remake. Now this last one is like a reference to his own speculation, to Thanny's own speculation. I think we can leave this one aside, but everything else is worth looking at too. Okay? So in this post, they link several other Reddit posts by this user called ThannyBomb. And the first instance is ThannyBomb's Three Houses leaks. And if you're not aware, ThannyBomb is someone, like I already said, that leaked several details about Fire Emblem Three Houses, which were pretty detailed, and more importantly, they turned out to be true. These leaks were huge at the time, since there was a huge radio silence about Three Houses in the time coming up to its release, and the leaks they did a really good job of sparking interest in the up-and-coming game for many people, including myself. People were like a little bit down on how the game looked until these leaks came out, and at the time when these leaks were posted, people were more than a little skeptical, and you know they should be, but it turned out to be correct. ThannyBomb wasn't just someone whose uncle worked at Nintendo; they were the real deal. They were able to leak details before they were revealed to the public. So I think it's worth looking into what did ThannyBomb actually say this time. Now the hard part is they didn't say a whole lot. So I think the most telling post is this one. This thread is about IS, Intelligent Systems, Nintendo of Japan, and Sakurai congratulating Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn on its anniversary, its 14th anniversary. And ThannyBomb posts, "This means so much more than it seems. I'm excited." That's the most telling one. Now, the bad news is there's two other posts, and I was going to say they're pretty vague, but honestly, it's even less than that. Yeah, so someone posted, "Remember how last year there was a Tellius seasonal every month? Maybe those alts were supposed to coincide with a Tellius remake, but the game got delayed because of COVID. But they decided to release the alts anyway." And then ThannyBomb responds with eye emojis. That's it, just eye emoji. Now, if this wasn't ThannyBomb, no one would bat an eye at this. I'm sorry for the pun, but in the context of all this, it's obviously a lot more meaningful. There's another comment like this too. If we look at this one, you can see FlareBlitz12 going, "If I had a nickel for every time a Tellius Lass has been recast, I'd have 3 nickels." And this is in response to Lincia's voice actress being recast, I think. Yeah, she's a different voice actress now. So yeah, if I had a nickel for every time Tellius Last has been recast, I would have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened thrice. And again, here's Stanny Bomb with the eyes. I'm not posting anything, but just the eyes. Again, if it was any other person, no one would care. But it's not any other user, it's Stanny Bomb. So how likely is it that 2 posts by Stanny Bomb means Tellius confirmed? Like, how does that connect well? Last night I was talking about this whole ordeal with Cyan and Biz, and I was super skeptical because the only post I'd seen was, you know, the eyes, and that was it. That's all I saw. There's a lot of different ways to interpret that, but at the time I didn't see that first one, that post where he actually goes like, this means a lot more than what it looks like. I'm excited. But that first one is quite a bit more explicit. In the words of Cyan, because that guy has a way with words more than I ever can, Stanny Bomb is being super coy about this. The 3 Houses leaks, they were super explicit. They basically just went, yeah, Dimitri has an eye patch, and boom, Dimitri turned out to have an eye patch. In this case, you can extrapolate what they're saying with the eye emoji responses that a remake of FE9 or FE10 or both was in the making but got delayed, but they're not outright saying it. For example, it could be that there is or there was going to be some other way to celebrate Radiant Dawn's birthday. And I'm kind of going back and forth on it. Rumors are rumors, and I'm someone who tries to never get their hopes up. From what I can tell, usually the things with rumors and leaks is that they're just made up and false. And someone just comes in, they drop a bunch of leaks for attention or just a troll, and then they leave. And that's what happens with Vampire Emblem, for example. I've never been in a situation where someone leaks something that turns out to be true, and then sort of leaks more info. And again, you can hardly call it leaking what he just did here. But I feel like Stanny Bomb has built up enough of a reputation that we can give him the benefit of the doubt that there's definitely something going on. So I'm cautiously optimistic. And I gotta say, if this is happening, I'm pretty excited for it, as well as pretty surprised. My money was always on Genealogy or Binding Blade to be the next games to be remade from Fire Emblem, because Genealogy is up next chronologically, while Binding Blade just kind of makes sense with how popular Roy is. Now it's related to FE7, which is a game that was released in the West. So for them to just skip all of that and go for Tellius is weird. On the other hand, the Tellius games are, right now, they're way too rare and expensive, and they are some of my favorites in this series, and I like the series overall, so that's really saying something when it comes from me. Like, over the past few years, I've gained a new appreciation for both Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Path of Radiance is just a great game for beginners. It's very accessible, and it's a contender for the best plot and one of the best casts. I used to be kind of lukewarm on its soundtrack, but listening to it some more, I actually really like it when I'm playing the game. And the intro sequence to Path of Radiance is so good, for example. So there's a lot to unpack with Path of Radiance. Radiant Dawn is the game that I'm currently let's playing on my channel. The game is just a beautiful, beautiful mess, and I love it. It has this unique perspective switch where you play the game with different armies, allowing you to use almost everyone as you're playing through the whole game. It has a great skill system with just enough customizability to make things interesting without making it too flexible like 3 Houses did. And it has a really good soundtrack as well. Radiant Dawn is up there with Thracia and Shadows of Valentia as one of my absolute favorites. So honestly, even if they just end up porting it over to the Switch instead of remaking it, I'm really happy about it. Okay, so not to rain on your parade, but after recording most of this video, I looked back and I found this post by John etc., I guess is what we'll call him. And he says, while remakes of some kind could certainly be in the words, Stanny Bomb unfortunately knows nothing about it. And he links to this article called Debunked, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn remake rumor is illegitimate. And it's a little long to read out right now, but it basically comes down to the fact that Stanny Bomb actually denies that he was leaking. He's not involved in leaking games anymore, the game content anymore. So they're just speculating, I guess, just saying their hopes, which is kind of what I meant when I said that eyes could just kind of mean anything. So I guess we just have to take everything with a grain of salt here. I'm going to leave most of my recording intact because speculation is still fun. But I'm a lot less, you know, super, like, I was on the fence, a little bit leaning towards Stanny Bomb was probably onto something. But it doesn't look like there's going to be a remake that's been confirmed by Stanny Bomb. It could still be in the making, it could still be out there. But this is not exactly hard proof of anything. Of course, things could change. Maybe this website is wrong. They say they had like private information, private conversation with Stanny Bomb about the leaks, supposed leaks. And he's not about to post screenshots of the DMs because he just doesn't do that. Someone called him out on it. It's like, hey, I'm not obligated to share a screenshot of the conversation. But like everyone else is saying, yeah, it's your word against anyone else's. So until Tannibomb himself clears this up, I guess this is what you got. One guy claiming Tannibomb didn't mean to say that he was leaking that stuff. And you got a bunch of people still excited about potential Tellius remakes. So we'll see. It's certainly not the first time that rumors of Tellius remakes have surfaced, and it's probably not going to be the last time either. But it might not be happening. Anyway, if something does come up, I will definitely inform you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to learn when stuff like that comes out, because I'll definitely be making a video on it when more concrete details come out, especially. Until then, let me know in the comments what I guess what your favorite flavor vaccine is. Mine is strawberry Moderna. Peace out.